What's up everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the third episode of What the Did I Just Read? So this is a series that I like to do on my channel where I look for books that might have some sort of absurd element or interesting plot twist or might be shocking in some way. So far this season I have read The Reformatory and I have read My Darling Girl. The Reformatory I gave 5 stars. It was horrific in a lot of different ways. If you're interested in hearing my opinions, you can check out that video. I'll also have the series linked in a playlist below. And then secondly, I read My Darling Girl, which I gave 1 star, and I really despised that book. I'll also have that linked in the description box below if you'd like to know more about either of those books and my experience so far in season 2. So I actually thought it was going to be some time before I was able to do episode 3 because there was nothing good coming out, I didn't think. The series also focuses on new releases. Except I recently started reviewing on NetGalley and I got approved for a lot of books, I think, and thanks to you guys for watching my videos. So thank you guys so much for helping me be able to review more books, and thanks for just being here. So I actually got approved for... You've seen the title, so you know. And so I actually got approved for the audiobook of The Heiress. But before we talk about that, I wanted to let you guys know who this author is. So she's written The Wife Upstairs, Reckless Girls. Those are 2 really popular thrillers. The Villa, another really popular thriller in the last few years. What I didn't know is that she also co-authored The Ex-Hex, which is a romance book that I love. I had no idea of that. I thought I had never read any of her books because I haven't read any of her thrillers and had no idea that she co-authored The Ex-Hex. Mind-blowing. So, The Heiress is about, I will read you guys what it's about. It says, when Ruby McTavish, Callahan, Woodward, Miller, Kinmore, why does she have 19 names, dies, she's not only North Carolina's richest woman, she's also its most notorious. The victim of a famous kidnapping as a child and a widow 4 times over, Ruby ruled the tiny town of Tavistock from Abbey House, her family's estate high in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Hey, I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I literally have the Blue Ridge Mountains tattooed on my arm. That's just where I live. In the aftermath of her death, that estate, along with 9-figure fortune and the complicated legacy of being a McTavish, passed to her adopted son Camden. But to everyone's surprise, Cam wants little to do with the house or the money, and even less to do with the surviving McTavishes. Instead, he rejects his inheritance, settling into a normal life as an English teacher in Colorado and marrying Jules, a woman just as eager to escape her own messy past. So she has a messy past too. Interesting. Okay. 10 years later, Camden is a McTavish in name only, but a summons in the wake of his uncle's death brings him and Jules back into the family fold at Ashby House. Its views are just as stunning as ever, its rooms just as elegant, but coming home reminds Cam why he was so quick to leave in the first place. Jules, however, has other ideas, and the more she learns about Cam's estranged family and the twisted secrets that they keep, the more determined she is for her husband to claim everything Ruby once intended for him to have. But Ruby's plans were always more complicated than they appeared. As Ashby House tightens its grip on Jules and Camden, questions about the infamous heiress come to light. Was there any truth to the persistent rumors following her disappearance as a girl? Oh, so that could be false? Oh my god, that'd be wild. What really happened to those 4 husbands who all died? Oh yeah, who all died under mysterious circumstances, and why did she adopt Cam in the first place? Soon, Jules and Cam realize that an inheritance can entail far more than what's written in the will, and the bonds of family stretch far beyond the grave. Okay, at first reading the synopsis, because I had no idea what this book was about, I was like, okay, this doesn't sound interesting. But those last few sentences, I'm very excited for this. Some what the bleep elements that I'm expecting are this complicated relationship between Jules and Cam. Is Cam's mom lying about being kidnapped as a child? How did her husband die? Right now, I'm guessing, not reading a single second of this book, that she probably didn't kill her husbands. They probably all died, like, maybe bad luck or accidents, because that can't, I mean, it's extremely rare and it is suspicious, but that could happen. So I don't know. Part of me is like, what if that's not true? Anyways, this will be a spoiler-free vlog. I'll let you guys know how the book is. The point of this video is to help you guys decide if you should buy new releases and have a good time. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start the book and I'll let future Zach take over. Alright, hi friends, I have an update for you guys. I am 50% into The Heiress. I know, it's really far. Like, usually I update these videos halfway and then at the end. And it is, like, going by so fast. So I'm pleased to say that I actually think this might end up being a 5-star, and my prediction for it was 3 stars. So I think we're doing pretty well. So I've already kind of told you guys about what the book is about. I'm going to use my notes to kind of review where I'm at in the book, and yeah, give you guys some input. So I will say the audio is very good. It's a full cast, and there's a lot of different things happening in this book, and I'm not confused at all on the audio. I'm really, really enjoying it. Actually, listening to the audio, it feels like I'm kind of watching a movie, although I'm reading or listening to a book. There's different, there's definitely at least 2 different narrators, if not more than that. I need to look. It should tell me on the NetGalley app. Actually, yeah. I can do that right now because I have it pulled up because I'm actively listening to it. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't say on the NetGalley app. I'm sure I could go to NetGalley's website. I'll put that information below for you guys. So if you want to know who the narrators are, because they're really good. In fact, I think I recognize the male narrator as someone who narrates some romance books that I listen to, but not positive. Yeah, and there's also some mixed media throughout the book. So we get Ruby's perspective, and if you guys don't remember from the synopsis, she's the really rich lady who owns the house. She was abducted when she was younger. There's this whole mysterious thing, though, like she doesn't remember the abduction at all. That's definitely like what the bleep. Like, how are you as a child do not remember getting abducted? So I'm wondering, like, did they medicate her in some way? I don't know. It was weird. Essentially what happened was, you find this out very early on, but she was out with her family, and then this guy comes along in the forest and he kidnaps her because him and his wife just lost their child, and his wife's really been struggling with that. So he kidnaps Ruby and is like, oh, you're going to be part of our family now. Because they, typical, that's like a Lifetime movie kind of thing. Anyways, eventually she makes it back home. Blah blah. She doesn't remember this at all. Like, the only way she knows about it is from like newspaper articles and things that she found on her dad's desk. So yeah, we have that whole thing going on, and like we keep going back in time, and we get Ruby's perspective through letters, which is really interesting. I love listening to her letters. In fact, so you guys remember from the synopsis, she had like 5 husbands. We are going through each husband at a time because they call her Killamore, like her nickname is basically like Killamore, like she killed her husbands. Like, that's kind of the legend in this North Carolina town, is that she murdered her husbands. So we're going by one, and she's kind of like explaining their deaths as I assumed would happen. And it's really interesting. I really love it. I love her narrator. I love the storytelling. It reminds me, if you've read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you might get, it kind of feels like that, but put it into a thriller book. And on that note, for those of you who are looking for something that's super fast-paced and super thrilling, I haven't read anything else by this author, but this book is not fast. It's actually quite slow, and I'm enjoying that because I really like getting to know the characters. That makes for everything that we're leading up to feel more meaningful. There's really no plot twist yet. Like, we're just really getting to know the characters, and I'm really, really enjoying that aspect. The other perspective that we get is Ruby's adopted son. So she adopted him when he was 3, and she raised him. And, he's being called back to Ashby house, which is the house he was raised in. It's kind of like this gothic manor. There's actually some gothic elements in it. I wrote down a quote, which is, he's like, they've just gotten back to the manor, and he says, I could feel this house before I even got there. There are also some other things about the forest, and there's like this big locked gate, and I don't know, it's giving me gothic vibes. I wouldn't say this is a gothic novel, but there are some like gothic vibes to it, which I'm really enjoying. So we have his perspective because he's being called back to the house, and yeah, and then we have his wife's perspective too, which is really interesting because she's holding a secret from him that she's going to tell him when they get there. The point in the book I'm in, 50% in, they're there and she hasn't told him. And I'm like, what could the secret possibly be? We're getting to know them as people. We're getting to know their marriage. We're also getting to know the guy, the son, I forget his name, but we're getting to know his cousins that are also at the manor. Yeah. It's really interesting. I'm really, really enjoying it. I did note that a sentence that should be banned from books, kind of like I didn't realize that I'd been holding my breath that whole sentence. Another one that should be banned that irks my nerves is, which is why, ... Like, I was running late that day, which is why I was able to see the car that hit the victim. I don't know. You get the point. I can't stand that, and it really, really annoys me. Yeah, there's something weird about the girlfriend. I don't know. I really like that there's a lot of different things happening, and we're kind of shifting gears pretty regularly. So I'm not getting tired of one like plot point, but it's not so much switching that I'm getting confused. I also wrote that the story is predictable at times, but it doesn't feel like it matters because the characters are so interesting. I'm just so invested in this and so interested. Also, I love the atmosphere because it takes place, like I said, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is where I live. I literally am sitting in the Blue Ridge Mountains right now. So I'm really, really, really loving this book. I looked back at my reading tracker, and I've only had one other 5-star this month. I'm reading this in December, though you guys are going to see it in January. And December just has not been a great reading month for me. So this has been a breath of fresh air. So I hope that it holds through to the very end. As for what the bleep elements, this book isn't super shocking yet, at least. I mean, maybe by the end, I'll be like, what the kind of twist was that, you know? But right now, I don't really have a lot of what the bleep, except I guess my what the bleep feeling right now is like, how am I enjoying this so much? Because I really didn't think that I was going to. I thought I was going to like it, but I thought it was just going to be another one of those thrillers that's just like plot twist, cringe. Like, not that all thrillers are that way, but a lot of the ones that I've been reading are, and they annoy me. I never get to know the characters, so I don't ever care about what's happening. But this story is not like that. Like, I'm actually invested. So yeah. I'm going to actually probably go finish it because it's not going to take me that long. So I'll update you guys at the end. It feels so good to be reading a good thriller, and I hope that when you see me in a few hours that is still the case. Yeah. Oh, what the bleep element too would kind of be like the whole disappearance that she doesn't remember. That is like, why does she not remember that? And then also, I don't know, just the girlfriend's giving me like what the bleep vibes, because like what the bleep is wrong with her? There seems like something's very off about her, but they've been married for 10 years. So I'm like, if she's been acting weird, wouldn't he realize that? 10 years? I don't know. Let's hope this doesn't let me down, because right now I'm really enjoying it. So I'll see you guys at the end of the book. So in a few hours. Bye. Now that was a good book. Okay, so I have finished the book, and I don't have a lot more to add. I'm gonna give you my rating and tell you who would like this book. And then yeah. So I'm actually gonna give it 5 stars, and I'm gonna be honest and say that I think that my 5-star rating is probably because I've read so many lower rated books this month that just felt like a breath of fresh air. There were a lot of twists, and those of you who watched my videos before know that's not something that I like. However, I noticed something about this one that was a little bit different from some of the other ones, which is that it was like twist unfolding about the same thing, about the same topic, versus it being, well, this, and then they knew this, and then that, all over the place. It felt like it made sense in the way that everything unfolded. Had I read this at a different time, I don't know that I would love it as much as I am right now, but I'm going to give it 5 stars. I really loved it. It's rich people behaving so badly, which is a trope that I didn't know that I loved so much, but I don't know. I really, really loved this book. The narration is good. I heard at the end there are 3 narrators, and I will try to remember to put in my description who those narrators are, because if you listen to a lot of audiobooks, it's nice to know what narrators you like and don't like. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you again to Macmillan Audio for an early copy of this. I'm very excited to get this book out to you guys. It was great for What the Bleep. There were so many twists at the end that was just the main thing. It's so predictable. I actually guessed it at the start of the book. I was like, I wonder if it's this. And it was that. And I'm not even mad about it. Like, that's how much I enjoyed these characters and their stories. But the twist, I can't tell you guys, obviously, because it's a spoiler, but it is what the, who would do that? Who would ever do that? It goes back to those rich people behaving badly. But yeah, I just loved this. There were some shocking moments, even though it was shocking, and I was like, well, damn, I was right. So I think if you read a lot of thrillers, and I don't even read that many of them, I mean, I've read more this year than ever before, but you will probably figure it out early on. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I think that you probably will. And hopefully you still like it, because I still enjoyed it regardless of that. I will probably read more by this author, so if you've read Rachel Hawkins before, like I said, I loved the X-Hex, which I didn't know that she had written too, but recommend me what other ones that you think I might like based off this one. I'm very interested to see what like other early reviews will say, and then like when the book actually comes out. I do think there will be a large group of people that will say the book is too slow. It is not very fast paced. I mean, the ending is kind of fast because you're getting a lot of the reveals, and a lot of the story goes back and forth in time, and there's a lot that happens in the past where as we're getting to know Ruby. And then it's all like crammed in the end, and I know a lot of people don't like that. So if that's something you don't like, then you might not enjoy this book. But yeah, I really, really liked it. So I would love to hear from you guys if you plan to read it, what you think about it, all the things. This was really fun. Thinking about the books that I've done for What the Bleep so far, this one's probably been my favorite. The Reformatory was really good. It was really, really heavy. This was really fun. Like, I really enjoyed this book. So yeah, I also want to give, like always, a very special thank you to the Mostly Ghostly crew for supporting my channel every month through the channel membership. If you'd like to know more about that, it's linked in the description box below. And I want to say thank you to you for watching this video. I love doing this series. I hope you guys are having a good time with season 2. Feel free to check out the other ones that are in this season. This definitely fit within What the Bleep, especially because the main twist was like, oh, yikes. Yeah, okay. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.